Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to Factorio and Bob's Mods run. And yeah, haven't done much since the end of the last episode. Just moved a couple of belts around, moved the lead up a little bit closer to the tin. So we've got a block of 4 here because it's nice to have blocks of 4. You don't want to have too many blocks of 2 or blocks of 1 with 2 gaps in between them, because then you start getting into the situation where you're just using way too much vertical space up, and we are going to need a fairly decent amount of belts in here to get our basic factory set up. Of course, eventually, let's just silence the phone. Eventually, we'll move on to something more bot-based, and the main bus will be less important, but for now, it's pretty important. So anyway, we have iron, we have copper, and now we have wood, which means we can make these damn basic circuits. We don't even need iron for them, but we do need wood. So that is going to be the plan for today, is going to be making these basic circuit boards. And hopefully we should be able to do that fairly quickly, but we'll see. So we do have to make a couple of decisions though, because we feed things back up over to areas here, and we do construction and we do automation. And then we feed the finished products back down onto the bus. Now, we have to make a decision what we want on the bus. Definitely, we want basic circuit boards. That's a no-brainer. Wooden boards are a bit more interesting. I think they are used for other things other than basic circuit boards later in the game, if memory serves me correctly. But it's a case of, are they used for a lot of other things or just a few? Because if they're only used for a few, then we can just make them again somewhere else using wood off the bus. If they're used for a lot, then it makes sense to put them back on the bus. But I think what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to put some lights down, because I can't see any reason why we wouldn't, because it's night and it's not very bright. And there we go. Let's put some lights down there. Let's put a couple of lights on the research area. And let's put a couple of lights here so we can sort of see this area, so it looks a little bit better. That's beautiful. Now we've got to be a little bit concerned about this tin just at the moment. Later on in the game, when we've got bots, we can strip mine the crap out of this thing very, very fast, especially with speed modules and all that sort of stuff. But for now, we don't really want to build on top of it, so I think we can squeeze in the basic circuit production here though. And what we'll do is we'll leave this area blank right below the tin, and later on, when our factory gets bigger and bigger, we can add another basic circuit creation thing right next to it, so we can double our basic circuit production if we need to. Because even with purple belts, you do run into a limit of how much you can build. So having a second assembly, throwing things down, basically doubles it. But you do have to plan for it, because otherwise you get the whole factory and everything's just squeezed together on the top of the bus, and it's hard to squeeze another set of assemblers in there. It's very hard. This is completely temporary, this belt setup. We'll be doing a much better belt setup later on, so this guy will get deleted at some point. But for now, having all of these transport belts that I can just pick up, absolutely 100% essential. So now we get to the maths bit. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with a single array of things making Mr. Basic Circuit Boards. So, bit of math here. Basic circuit boards take 1 wooden board, and they take 1 second to build. These guys build 2 wooden boards, and they do it in half a second. And where's the other bit? Where's the other bit? Where's my wood gone? I just had it. And these guys take half a second, they produce 2 wood. So you can see that for 1 raw wood, we get 2 wood, and then we get 4 wooden boards, and we get 4 basic circuit boards. So it really starts to pile up. And the fact that the first couple of things take half a second really start to pile up as well. So let's get a bunch of assemblers. And we're going to use a layout that I've used a couple of times before. Basically, we're going to have 1 assembler in the middle that produces the wood, and then 2 assemblers on either side that produce the wooden boards, and then we're going to feed all of them up, and those set of 3 assemblers should be able to support a very decent amount of assemblers producing the basic circuit boards. And we do have to feed in the copper cables, but we can feed them in from the other side. We can use some long-handed inserters. We can do all sorts of cool stuff here. So yeah, let's just plan it out here. So we're going to ignore this transport belt, and we are going to start building up here. So we've got this nice gap above the iron belt. Didn't really do it for the transport belts, but as I said, that is going away at some point. So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. So the middle one is going to be producing our wood, and then the 2 on the side are going to be producing wooden boards. And we have, not that, we have this guy going out like that, and then this guy feeds in the wood. So let's get that set up. And of course, we've hit a power pole straight away. Let's move that around there. And we need more undergrounds. That's a lot of undergrounds I just built. Alright. And we make room. Beautiful. So now we need a splitter as well. Oh, it's going to be so good when we can just have a massive supply of these circuit boards in our inventory. We just pick them straight up off the bus and not have to craft them anymore, because they really are a pain in the ass to craft. So let's have a look. The wood's going to come up here. You need to power this thing. Boom, boom, boom. A little bit nicer. There we go. So as you can see, this guy, because he produces 2 wood and takes half a second, and this guy takes 1 wood and takes half a second, we can easily support both of these doing consistently. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what we actually need here for the circuit boards. So this guy produces 4 wood per second, 2 every half a second. So we got 8 wooden boards per second from this array. And this guy takes, so if we say we've got 8 wood per second, this guy takes 1 wood per 1 second. So that means we can produce 8 of these little guys, 8 assembly machines. So that's what we're going to aim for at the start. And now we just need to figure out how much of the copper cable we need. That's going to be the important thing. And so what we're going to do here is this guy puts it out there. This guy puts it out there. And we don't really need to balance this belt, because what we're actually going to do is we're going to feed it like that. And the wooden boards are going to be on the left side inside of this belt. And the copper cables are going to be... are we going to put them on the belt? Or are we just going to feed them directly into the machines? Let's do some maths here. So with 8 of these running, we will need 24 copper cables per second. And if I do my maths, this can take... this can take 13 items per second, 6.5 on each side of the belt. So it's not even enough for wooden boards, actually. So what we're going to have to do is this thing is going to have to be full of wooden boards. So what we're going to do a little thing here. So this one goes on the left-hand side, this one goes on the right-hand side. And this will have to be full, because 1/2 of the belt, 6 2/3 items a second. And we need 8 items a second, so we're going to have to fill that belt up. And we might as well start those guys going. There we go, beautiful. And this will go up like that. And then what we'll do is we'll have to have machines feeding the copper cable directly into these guys. So what we're going to do is... we're going to leave a bit of a gap here. We'll put the first machine down here, put a bunch up there. We'll get long-handed inserters to pull these guys over. And then the finished product, we will feed onto this belt going down with short-handed inserters. And then on the other side is just going to be for the copper cable. So let's start here. So this guy needs 3 copper cable every second. So producing copper cable is 2 every half a second, which means we're producing 4 every second. So if we're producing 4 every second and these guys need 3 every second, I'm doing the maths in my head, which I probably shouldn't be doing, but it's basically we need 4 of these for every 3 copper cable. I think that's right. It just came to me, but I think that's right. So 4 of these for every 3 copper cable producers, because these take 3 and these produce 4. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely does make sense. We need to put these here, and we need to middle mouse them so they're always visible. So what we're going to do here is boom, 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 and then another one there. And then this works out pretty well, actually. You'll find that these guys sort of even out over the long run. Yeah. And then we fill that out. And we've got 4 machines here, and that works out pretty well, having this 4:3 ratio, because if you remember correctly, these wooden boards support 8 of these machines. All we need to do is copy and paste this setup, put it up here again, and we should be fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to need another machine here, and we're going to need a bunch of inserters, and that should be it. Now, as you can see, we're going to impinge on the tin ore a little bit, but that's fine. We just deal with it. We could move this entire thing over a little bit and not impinge on the tin ore, but that's fine, because when you put down a mine, I don't have a mine here, but I can build one real quickly. Cancel that inserter, build a couple more inserters. The mines actually get around them. They don't just get the bits that they're actually sitting on. I'll show you in a sec. They actually get the bits around them. So this mine, if we put it down, you can see that little green square around it that actually extends beyond the mine itself. So we could put the mine here, and that'll get the things that I'm standing on that will be covered by the belts. So we can still easily mine this guy out later. So, alright, so let's put this belt down here. Yoink. And we'll need an underground, and we will need a splitter as well. Let's build a few of those. Come on, splitter. There we go. So now we got copper coming up here, and because this guy takes 1 copper plate and produces 2 copper cables, we only really need 1 inserter for each of these guys. Let's get some power going on. Let's get, so we need, we got a ton of these guys. We need 8 of those guys. Let's just finish the belt off here. And let's finish the belt off here. So we will start with that in the middle there, in the middle there, in the middle there, and in the middle there. And then we'll put these guys on the outside. Hopefully the wooden poles won't complain too much about that. I actually have to put double wooden poles down. That's a bit of a pain in the ass. So what we might do is like that. So we'll take the bottom one, move it down 1, and we're still going to need double poles. Alright, screw that. This is just, I don't like this. I don't like having crappy little wooden poles, but we really, really do need steel for getting better poles, and we need research, and that takes green science. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The last one up there. And boom, boom, boom. And oh, that reminds me. I wanted to have a balancer here to sort of shift these onto the side, but because because I put these two together, we could move this entire array up one or up a couple. And you know what? That's not a bad idea. We got time to do that, so that's what we're going to do. Just to make that a bit nicer. So it makes it, it's not just about making the belt balanced at the end, it's also about keeping the throughput up, because this yellow belt is not very fast. So it's possible that the 4 machines at the back would fill up this side of the belt, and then the ones at the front just will not be able to function, and you would only get half a belt coming out at the end no matter what you did. So let's get rid of that pole. There we go. And we need the machine to be up there. Okay, now we are good. So that wasn't too far, it was just another 2 tiles. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. And these guys go there and there. Have we left enough room? Yeah, I'm not going to move these guys up again. I'm just going to use a little trick underground here and then put a pole there. And this guy can still drop stuff on an underground, and that will work out fine. Probably could have used undergrounds further on the belt to avoid having moved this up at all, but it's all good. It's all good. Might as well go for as much perfection as we can. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and there we go. Copper cable, and there we go. We'll start to see these guys putting stuff on the other side of the belt, and because we are perfectionists, we are going to balance this anyway. Shove that down there. That's the tin and stuff. We're going to leave this set of 4 for miscellaneous things. Might put some coal there or whatever. And we're going to get this guy to be 2. I think 2 is probably enough for the main bus. It'll get crazy later, but then again our belt speed will get crazy later as well. So there we go. Now we have the basic circuits going down. So that is going to be beautiful. What we're actually going to do is we're going to set up, well, first things first here. So we're going to set up this guy. I'm going to put him over there. No, because we'd have to switch power all the way down there. So let's put it up here instead. And let's start pulling some of these guys out so that we can grab some of these whenever we need them. And wooden boards, we don't need those, so let's chuck them in there. Copper cable, let's chuck them in there. And hopefully, if I remember, we will just keep grabbing basic circuit boards out of that chest, and then we won't have to worry about it anymore. So, what do we want to do after that? Because that took, well, it still took 18 minutes, but still, that's, you know, surprisingly short. I think we could do something else here. I think we can do green science, actually. We need to be researching stuff as well. There's so much stuff that we could be researching that we're not. Mining drill research, yeah, why not? But yeah, green circuits takes inserters and transport belt. We're already producing this, inserters take that. So let's get green science up and running. You can see these guys take basic circuit boards. So now I build them. It's only building the iron gears, the basic circuits don't need to be built. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's going to make the game a lot less painful early on. Now, if you remember when we were talking about science last time, this takes 6 seconds and this takes 5. So we're going to build 6 assemblers to try and keep these guys on the right track. Not enough. Oh, I'm running low on iron, aren't I? Wouldn't be a bad idea to have a chest here as well to pick up iron because, yeah, we definitely do need it. And we're going to put it over here so it's after the transport belt building stuff. All right, pick up some more. Another 36. It's just like, boom, 36. You just grab it straight away. And here. So we've already got transport belt being built down here. We might as well reuse this setup because why not? And then we're going to squeeze another setup in here. And this is, it's kind of dodgy, it's kind of hacky, but it's fine. So green science, we haven't built green science yet, but it takes an inserter and a transport belt. And we should have no problems building either of those now that we have the basic circuit boards. So let's get power poles, boom, 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 and we need another one up there, and another one up there. That didn't quite work out, but whatever, it's all good. So we do want, let me see here, let's do some more maths. So the inserter takes half a second. So we only need one machine building this, and we only need one machine building transport wheels, transport belts, sorry. Let's move that radar over here. It gives us a bit more room to work with. And this guy, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to move this back a smidge. That'll impinge on this 4-belt system, but we can do something like that to get the last belt under it, so that's not a problem. And then we are going to get this guy split in this direction. Although we don't really need a splitter. I mean, one belt going back this way is fine. And then we could use that for the inserter. So the inserter takes, it takes basic circuit boards and iron products. It says it takes copper, but that copper is from building the circuit boards. And we've already built them. They're already on the bus, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So we're going to do here. So this takes an iron gear wheel, and it also takes an iron plate and a basic circuit board. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make this guy, make the inserters. Oh, silly me. I mentioned this before, but I forgot now, is you need the second level automation machines, the second level assembly machines to build things that cost up to 4 materials. And this guy can only build things that cost up to 2 materials. And of course the inserter takes 3 materials. So we can't quite do it. And that's going to bonus a little bit because we do need for the automation 2, basic electronic boards. I'm going to see if we can craft a few real quickly, just basically craft them. So we're going to have to faff a little bit here, but let's see. Basic electronic boards, we will need 3 of the damn things. So 3 of the damn things. Basic circuit boards, easy. So let's start with solder. So solder takes solder plate and resin. Resin is wood. So let's dump 100 wood in there. That'll build resin. We can pick that up in a second. Thank you very much. There's too much research for us to be looking at everything individually. So let's just turn on auto research and let it go on everything to do with red, because I don't think there's anything else that's spectacularly important for us to comment on. Nickel is beautiful. Nickel we will need a lot of later on, and that takes oxygen, which is like a chemical processing thing. Water bore, heavy armor, air compressors. They're all interesting, alloy processing, but we will talk more about them when we actually need the damn things. And for now, we do not. So, going back, we needed solder plate as well, which is tin and lead. And you can see we need a special blue guy to build that. So, where's our special blue guy? Because I sworn we had a special blue guy somewhere around here. It's got to be red. It's got to be red that gives us the special blue guy, because there it is, alloy processing. Okay, let's get alloy processing done, and that'll allow us to get solder, which allows us to get well, it allows us to get solder plates, so we can get solder. So that's fine. Basic electronic components is the other thing. Tin, copper wire, and carbon. Let's do carbon first because I think I know how to do that. That requires a special red smeltery, which requires stone brick. Jeez, I didn't think we'd have to worry about stone brick this early on, but apparently we do. Let's see. Let's go in there. Fill these up with wood because I can't be bothered going down and getting coal. Get a chest down there. Actually, you know what? We don't need to do that. Let's get that wood back. Put that in there. And, oh, that's crazy. If you Q basically selects the thing that's already there. So if you press Q on a belt, it shows up with belt. I just realized if you press Q on ore, it gives you a mine automatically, which is very, very awesome. But anyway, there's some stone brick. Let's grab that. How much stone brick do we need for carbon? Oh, for this, we just need one of these. So we need 2 more. Come on. Give me 1 more. There we go. There's 5. Chemical furnace. This metal mixing furnace takes 5 as well. I'm going to need 1 of those. So give me your stone brick. Let's get this guy down first. Oh, that takes up the pipe. Do we need a pipe? We just want carbon and it needs water. Oh, crap. We have to go all the way over to the water. So we'll do that later. Or we'll do that as part of this episode, but metal mixing. This is kind of a preview as to what we're going to need to do for basic electronic components. Solder plate. Let's chuck some wood in there. And let's get a bunch of these. Now, how many do we need for this guy? We need 3. So we need 15 basic electronic components. And each one of those takes... What? I'm so lost. We need 1 solder. So we need 3 solder total, which means this, we only need 4 solder plate because it takes in 4 and it produces 8. So that's fine. So we control click on here and it'll automatically insert the stuff we have. So that's beautiful. So we got the solder because we got the resin and we got the solder plates. Now we just need these. Tin copper wire is going to be copper cable and tin plate. So let's just do that real quick. Do that in here. Tin copper wire. Don't worry if you're not understanding any of this. It's just nuts. So we'll just take 7 out of there, 4 out of there, and 6 out of there because those guys are beautifully backed up. Put that all in there. That'll give us a ton of tin copper wire. And then we just need carbon, which is, thank you, carbon is coal and water. So we need some coal. Let's just jump over here and grab some coal, and then we can start heading over to Mr. Water. And probably the water near our power is actually closer. So there we go. Coal. Picked up a bunch of coal. And chemical furnace. Yes, chemical furnace is the correct one. So let's put that there. And let's get... Oh man, I just really, really want green science at this point. Really, really want it. No, sorry, it goes there. There we go. Carbon. Let's check in some coal. That gives us a bunch of carbon. And we do need, come on, 30 minutes. Let's get an assembly machine 2 done in 30 minutes. So we need 1 and that gives us 5. So we've got enough. You know what? Actually, we'll leave this damn thing here. Let's just chuck in all the coal we can. I'm not going to divert this over to there to get more because we'll do that properly in future episodes. Oh, you need some fuel. Actually, I have no fuel to give you, but I don't know if you really need to be getting stone anymore because you got like 20 billion and there's a stone mine over there. So not going to worry about it. But we do have carbon, tinned wire, we got solder plate, we got resin, we got. So we can build some basic electronic boards. And Basic is it's kind of just a slap in the face at this point because they're anything but basic, these guys. So pull those guys out. This needs to be made in a machine. Luckily, it can be made in a simple machine. So let's control click that. That is going to give us more than enough basic electronic components. And solder we can make manually. All right, this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be like the next 5 episodes is going to be automating these bloody basic electronic boards because, yes, they are a massive pain. If you thought this was, oh, what are we doing here? Lights, give me some lights. We got so many inserters everywhere that there's not actually any room for lights in most of this space. There we go, that's good enough. And we'll put a light. No, we're going to need all that space anyway. All right. You are going to stop because that's all fine. You are going to stop. Let's see. We can produce 11 of these. Let's make 10 of them. And that is going to give us 1 assembly machine 2. And we'll save these for, I don't know, a rainy day or something. Okay. So you are going to produce green. No, you're not going to produce green. You're going to produce inserters. And this guy is going to produce gears. So now we're going to do a bit of jiggery pokery here. They need to be further apart, don't they? Yes. So let's get rid of this power pole. Put it up there instead. Get rid of that. And put this guy over here. We're going to... Why do all of my power poles consistently end up in the way? Put a bunch more on there. Okay, now here's the plan. We are going to have gears coming out there. This is going to be inserters. So it gets the iron from here and it gets the gears from there. And then we need the final touch, which is going to be the basic boards. Oh, give me a break here, please. Give me a break. Do that and that. You're going to see a lot of these undergrounds in this playthrough because this bus is going to start becoming pretty huge. And yeah, we're going to need them. So there we go. Basic boards are going to come in here. That's not what I want. I usually have these toggled onto 4, so we're actually going to move these here, and then we're going to build a bunch of these and put them there. So that's how I usually have it, except I have fast inserters here because nobody uses this normal inserters once you got fast ones. So now we got these guys. Okay. So we're going to have this like that, and then we're going to have that guy putting it on there. And you know what? We're not going to do that. Oh, stop that. We definitely want to have a buffer chest for inserters as well. We just absolutely do. Because it's awesome. And I don't think we have room to push that up there. So we're going to push this guy up. And push that down. And there we go. Half and half going on there. And this guy is slow because he needs iron gears because we don't have enough iron gears coming through. But that's fine. We can move this up 1. We can move this up 1. And we can move that up 1. And then we can have... Yoink. Oh, it's taken them all out now. We can have a second inserter here. So now this guy will be producing iron gears at a proper rate for putting them in there, and this guy should not be slowing down. And there we go. Let's put the finishing touches. Not there. Put the finishing touches on this guy. 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have green science. And now we can research anything we damn well want. And these loaders, man. Oh, I'm going to love these loaders, but basic electronic boards are going to be the next thing. And yes, they are going to be pain. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in a bit. Take care of yourselves.